Before I start this review, I need to make some corrections from the other cringe review of Yoda vs. Mickey. I said that the animation was still janky and that it doesn't make up for the rest of the episode. But after rewatching the other fights and then rewatching Yoda vs. Mickey, I realized that my criticism was unfair. So now, instead of a high 7 out of 10, I'm changing its score to an 8.5 out of 10. Now onto the review of the right episode. A couple days ago, Shadow vs. Ryuko was released and I sat there wondering whether I should do the same as Nemesis and Biffweed, and review every Shadow episode. But at the last minute, when I was getting ready to record it, I saw that they both uploaded their own versions. I didn't want to copy them, so I didn't do that, but I also didn't do it cause I edit all of this, get all the music, get the clips, and get the pics all on one phone. I'm not postponing my review cause Kindmaster is a bitch. Anyway, I'll be going over the good parts and then the bad. Then I'll talk about the next time. So I should probably stop rambling and start the video now.
I'm the coolest.
I really like Shadow's analysis. It's got some good jokes, it looks nice, and it actually gives us a feat for Supersonic. Took them long enough. And it seems like we're getting back into the trend of actually having solid end clips cause Shadow's ending analysis clip was alright, same with Ryuko's. Now the animation. To start off, Shadow has his good sprites, as always, but I have to praise Ryuko's sprite work. With a few exceptions, it looks fantastic and they nailed it. Second, the voice acting. Shadow sounds alright in most of his lines, but I'm giving praise to Senkit's and Ryuko's voice actors. They sound really good in most of the deliveries. I especially like the callback to the other two Shadow fights, with Ryuko's last line being sayonara. I would have preferred Shadow saying it, but I don't mind cause the delivery on his shut up sounds absolutely perfect. Now the actual animation itself. It's really fucking good and it's easily the best Shadow episode. The hand-drawn Ryuko transformation looks amazing and kicks off one of my favorite sprite fights ever. I really like the callback to the silver fight in Sonic 06. It's mostly good until Ryuko knocks Shadow into the wall and he pulls out a gun. I don't know why, but I find it hilarious that he pulls a gun on a 17-year-old, but it's even funnier when he pulls out the sword and Ryuko delivers the best line in the episode. It made me laugh so much that I had to pause the video. My next big compliment is when they both turn super. It gives us the hand-drawn stuff that I love and it looks great. It then leads to Ryuko eclipsing the fucking earth as she goes to kill Shadow. He pulls an Uno reverse though and sends her rocketing to earth. He goes down and uses Chaos Blast, and I actually quite like this death. It's a fitting end and Ryuko's death scream sells it perfectly. And Shadow's line at the end is gold. Now the negatives.
Sayonara, dipshit!
Remember when I said I liked Shadow's analysis? Yeah, well, Ryuko's analysis is fucking cringe. It basically says that Kill la Kill is part fan service and that pisses me off. It's meant to be a joke, but it's not that funny either. In fact, Ryuko's whole analysis is just really boring and that sucks since I know how interesting Ryuko is. Also, was talking about puberty made me groan in a mix of cringe, annoyance and disappointment. I also noticed this on a rewatch. They misspelled a good few things in this episode, didn't they? That's not a big complaint, I'm just pointing it out. Now something that I've never had a problem with is now something I have a problem with. The Blue Chew ad. Before the ad starts, Boomstick says something about Shadow and Ryuko always being ready to perform. I paused the video, put my hand on my face in disappointment and said, for fuck's sake, in my thick Scottish accent. The joke was absolutely miserable and I hate it so much. I've seen multiple people on Discord say that they skip it every time because of how cringe it is, and I fully agree and do that every time. Now the animation's problems. The sound design throughout the entire fight is garbage. Ryuko slashing Shadow multiple times sounds so fucking weak. And the death, while I do like it, had awful sound design and doesn't feel impactful. And some of the animation looks odd too. Ryuko transforming into Kisaragi looks weird. It should have been hand-drawn, to be honest. Speaking of Ryuko, her expressions in her sprite work just look really funny and it isn't intentional. Also, I've heard from Nemesis that Ryuko is overly aggressive towards Senkits. I don't know if that's true, but it apparently is, so that's another thing. I've ran out of bad things to say. So on to the conclusion.
In clothing, the Hedgehog couldn't be overshadowed, and Ryuko's life fiber was snipped.
So is this a good episode? Holy shit, yes. It's easily in my top 10. But it isn't close to my top 5. It's maybe number 8 or 9. For its actual score though, I'm giving it a 9 out of 10. It might have a lot of issues, but it's overshadowed by the good things. But the problems with Ryuko's analysis, the blue chew ad and the sound design stop it from being a 10. It's still a fucking amazing episode though. Also, I cannot express how many times I slammed my head against my desk when I saw that Lex Luthor vs. Doctor Doom was next. I know that Lex got buffs, but Doom still mega stomps him into oblivion, and it's annoying. Even if it means Apocalypse wouldn't be his opponent, I would have much rather Black Adam than fucking Lex. Next will either be my surprise or the review. It's also a good time to tell you that I'm not gonna make any more trailers. It'll be videos like this from now on. Anyway, I'll see you guys whenever one of those videos comes out.